Hello everyone. Today we'll learn the operation technology of plate butt welding in the downhand position with one-side welding both sides formation. Through the class, we should achieve the following teaching objectives. Able to master operating essentials of the welding position. Able to develop assembly welding plan. Able to select the welding parameters. Able to weld qualified welds according to the requirements of welding safety, cleanliness, environment, and welding process. Able to inspect the appearance of welds. Let's analyze the construction drawings and work tasks. First of all, through the construction drawings, we can see that the pieces are consisted of two Q235 steel plates, which size is 12 times 300 times 100 millimeters delta. The weld root gap is 3.2 to 4 millimeters. The root face is 0.5 to 1 millimeter. The groove angle is 60 degrees. The molten hole is not easy to be observed and controlled when backing welding, which easily causes the incomplete penetration on the back of weld. Under the influence of the arc spray force and the gravity of molten metal, weld defects such as overlap and ultra-high welding appears likely at root surface. The base material thickness is 12 millimeters. Therefore, there are 4 weld layers needed. 1 backing weld layer, 2 filling weld layers, and 1 covering weld layer. The base material is Q235A. We select the E5015 electrode with better process performance, which diameter is 3.2 millimeters. B, and the power polarity is DCRP. To weld qualified welds, a reasonable welding process must be developed. Now, let's learn the specific operation processes and the welding methods through preparation, fabrication, backing, filling, covering, and inspection. Firstly, perform security check. Ensure labor protection equipment is properly warmed and in good condition. Clean up the work site. Make sure there is no inflammable and explosive articles. Secondly, prepare welding machine. Check whether welding machine cable, welding bar wire, and welding clamp are properly connected, and then debug them. Thirdly, prepare auxiliary tools. Prepare tools such as grinders, slack hammers, chisels, files, wire brushes, straight steel rulers, vernier calipers, and weld inspection rulers. Fourthly, prepare specimens. Check the size of the specimens according to the drawing. Polish the specimen bevel and ensure that there is no water, oil, rust, and other impurities within 20 millimeters of the bevel and each side. Expose the metallic plaster. Lastly, prepare welding materials. Prepare E5015 electrodes with diameters of 3.2 millimeters and 4 millimeters respectively. Next, assemble the specimens. Firstly, group specimens. Put the specimens with finished groove on the assembly platform to check the flatness of the specimens and the matching of groove. Secondly, adjust welding current to 110 to 120 A. Thirdly, precision welding. Determine the beginning gap is 3.2 millimeters with 3.2 electrode core diameter. Determine the terminal clearance is 4 millimeters with 4.0 electrode core diameter. The fixed weld length is 10 to 15 millimeters. Arc extinguishing method is adopted to point and fix from the inside of the groove, and the staggered edge quantity is controlled within 1 millimeter. The reserved inverse deformation angle alpha is 3 to 5 degrees. This is the assembled specimen. Now, let's learn how to weld the bottom layer. Firstly, adjust welding current to 110 to 120 A. Then, the assembled specimens are placed horizontally on the tooling, and the side with small clearings is placed on the left side for welding from left to right. The method of the backing welding can be arc extinguishing method or continuous arc method. Take the arc extinguish method as an example. When welding, the included angle between electrode and welding direction is 70 to 80 degrees. Meanwhile, the electrode shall be perpendicular to the spaceman on both sides. Arc is initiated at the left end of the weld, caused to wound up, transverse swing welding to the right, holding down electrode when welding to the right edge of the positioning welding. The root of the groove is melted and penetrated. The arc is closed after the molten hole is formed. The arc extinguishing frequency is 50 to 60 times per minute. After the backing welding, clean up the weld with a steel wire brush and the ballast hammer. This is the specimen after backing welding. Okay, we'll learn how to weld filler layers now. Firstly, adjust the welding current to 115 to 125 A. Then, the included angle between electrode and welding direction is 60 to 70 degrees. Meanwhile, the electrode shall be perpendicular to the spaceman on both sides. Crescent or zigzag stripe transportation is adopted. When transporting the stripe, the middle of the weld is slightly faster, and the groove is paused on both sides to ensure the good fusion of the weld and the groove. Compared to the backing welding, the electrode swing radius is larger, and the retention time is slightly longer on both sides of the groove. It should ensure that the weld is smooth and slightly concave, and the thickness of the weld of the second filling layer should be lower than the surface of the base metal, 0.5 to 1.5 millimeters. After the filling welding, the weld is cleaned up with a steel wire brush and a ballast hammer. This is the specimen after filling welding. The following tips are key technologies of butt welded plate in the downhand position with one side welding both sides formation. Firstly, listen. Pay attention to the poop sound emitted at the root of the arc breakdown groove, indicating that it has been welded through. Secondly, observe. Pay attention to the shape and color of the molten pool. The larger the volume of the pool, the more likely it is to produce welding tumors. The brighter the color of the pool, the higher the temperature, especially when it is bright yellow. It indicates that the temperature of the pool is very high. Thirdly, adjust. When the molten pool temperature is too high, we can change the electrode angle. The welding rod tilt angle increases can reduce the arc downward blowing force. The temperature of molten pool can also be controlled by decreasing the frequency of arc extinguishing, that is, increasing the interval time. After practice, we should organize tools and equipment, turn off the power, clean up the work site, and write welding records. At last, inspect the impurities. According to the scoring standard, the self-inspection, mutual inspection, and special inspection shall be carried out one by one to the height of the front and back welds, height difference, width difference, undercut, staggered edge amount, deformation, mechanical damage or arc abrasion, failure to fuse, surface slag inclusion, surface porosity, cracks, and so on. Through the above learning, I believe that you have a basic understanding of the operation project. If you want to weld high-quality welds, you must be diligent in practice, keep exploring, thinking, and summarizing during practice. That's all for today. Thank you.